What's good, family? It's your brother, Insight Africa, and today we're diving deep into a story that the mainstream media won't tell you. We're talking about a nation in the heart of West Africa, a land of proud people, a land that is rewriting its destiny right before our very eyes. For too long, the narrative about Africa has been one of struggle, of dependency, of external forces dictating the pace and direction of its journey. But the winds of change are blowing, and they carry the scent of sovereignty, of self-reliance, of a people taking back their power. This isn't just talk, this is action. This is about building foundations so strong they can withstand any storm. Burkina Faso, under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, is no longer content with the crumbs offered by the global elite. They are not just asking for a seat at the table, they are building their own table, a grand table where only those who respect African dignity and sovereignty are welcome. This is a seismic shift, a fundamental reordering of priorities, a declaration that the era of exploitation is over. The spirit of Thomas Sankara, that fearless visionary, is alive and well, pulsating through the veins of this renewed national project. It's a spirit that says, enough is enough. Our land, our resources, our future, they belong to us. Burkina Faso is no longer just rising, it's building. Building what the West was never supposed to see. And today, we reveal the 10 projects that Ibrahim Traoré has launched that are shaking the global balance of power. These aren't just isolated initiatives, they are interconnected pillars of a grand strategy, a blueprint for true independence that other nations are watching closely. So, buckle up, because we're about to witness the unfolding of a revolution, a quiet but powerful transformation that speaks volumes about the unbreakable spirit of a people determined to forge their own path. This is the story of Burkina Faso's bold moves, and trust me, the world is taking notice. For any nation to truly stand on its own, to chart its own course without bowing to external pressures, the strength and loyalty of its defense forces are paramount. In Burkina Faso, this isn't just a theoretical concept, it's a lived reality, a cornerstone of Captain Ibrahim Traoré's vision for a truly sovereign state. For decades, like many African nations, Burkina Faso's security apparatus was often influenced, if not outright shaped, by external powers, creating dependencies that undermine true autonomy. The imperative to break these chains, to build a military that answers only to the Burkinabe people and serves their interests exclusively, became a primary objective. This is about more than just guns and soldiers. It's about national pride and self-determination. Traoré understands that national security is the bedrock upon which all other development rests. Without the ability to defend its borders, protect its resources, and ensure the safety of its citizens from both internal and external threats, a nation remains vulnerable, its destiny subject to the whims of others. The modernization of the military, therefore, is not an act of aggression, but a profound statement of intent. Burkina Faso will no longer be a pawn in geopolitical games. It will be a fortress of its own making, capable of deterring those who seek to undermine its progress or exploit its wealth. This resolve is palpable, seen in the eyes of the young men and women who are stepping forward to serve. The approach to military modernization is comprehensive. It involves investing in better training, equipping the armed forces with modern gear, increasingly sourced from partners who respect Burkina Faso's sovereignty or developed through nascent local initiatives, and enhancing intelligence capabilities to preempt threats. Crucially, this modernization effort emphasizes a break from traditional reliance on Western military aid and doctrines, which often come with strings attached. Instead, Burkina Faso is forging new security partnerships and developing a defense posture that is tailored to its unique challenges and aspirations, fostering a spirit of self-reliance even in the realm of national defense, a truly revolutionary act. The impact of this renewed military strength is already being felt. It has bolstered the nation's capacity to combat extremist groups that have plagued the Sahel region, doing so with a renewed sense of national purpose and with strategies defined in Ouagadougou, not Paris or Washington. This self-reliant security posture not only enhances national security, but also contributes to regional stability on terms set by Africans themselves. It sends a clear message to the world. Burkina Faso is capable of managing its own affairs, and its sovereignty is non-negotiable. This new shield is not just for defense, it's a symbol of a nation standing tall, unbowed and unbroken. The fight for true independence is fought on many fronts, and one of the most critical is the battle for food sovereignty. For generations, many African nations, including Burkina Faso, have been caught in a cycle of food dependency, a bitter legacy of colonial policies that prioritized cash crops for export over food for local consumption. Captain Traoré's government understands that a nation that cannot feed itself cannot truly be free. Thus, agricultural self-sufficiency is not merely an economic goal. It's a profound political statement, a reclaiming of the land and its bounty for the nourishment and prosperity of its own people. This is about dignity, about ensuring that no Burkinabe child goes hungry due to the manipulations of global food markets. The vision is clear and powerful, nourishing the nation from its own soil. This isn't just a slogan, it's a call to action that resonates deeply with the Burkinabe people, many of whom have a profound connection to the land. The initiatives launched are multifaceted, aimed at empowering local farmers who are the backbone of this agricultural revolution. This includes providing access to better quality seeds, modern farming tools, and crucial training in sustainable agricultural practices that are adapted to the local environment. There's a renewed emphasis on domestic food production, moving away from an over-reliance on imported staples that drain foreign reserves and leave the nation vulnerable to external shocks. Specific projects are transforming the agricultural landscape. We're seeing significant investments in irrigation infrastructure, like the development of small and large-scale dams and water management systems, to combat the challenges of an often arid climate and make more land arable year-round. There's a conscious promotion of indigenous crops, millet, sorghum, cowpeas, fonio, which are not only nutritious and drought-resistant, but also part of the nation's cultural heritage. This battle for food, as it's sometimes called, is a national mobilization, encouraging communities to cultivate every available piece of land, fostering a collective spirit of self-reliance and productivity from the ground up. The broader impact of these agricultural initiatives extends far beyond the farm gate. Achieving food self-sufficiency means improved food security for millions, reducing malnutrition, and enhancing public health. It means economic empowerment for rural communities, creating jobs and increasing incomes where they are needed most. It represents a significant blow to neo-colonial food systems that have kept Africa dependent. More than anything, it instills a deep sense of national pride, the pride of a people who can look at the food on their tables and know that it came from their own hands, their own land, a tangible symbol of their hard-won independence. It's a tragic paradox that has plagued our continent for centuries. Africa, a land blessed with an abundance of natural resources, yet its people often remain impoverished while foreign corporations and powers reap the lion's share of the benefits. Burkina Faso, rich in gold and other valuable minerals, has been no stranger to this exploitative dynamic. For too long, the nation's underground treasures have primarily enriched external interests, leaving little for the development of the country and the upliftment of its citizens. Captain Traoré's government has confronted this injustice head-on, understanding that true economic sovereignty begins with control over one's own natural wealth. The cry is clear. Our resources will build our nation, not foreign bank accounts. The shift in policy under Traoré has been decisive and bold. It's a move to ensure that the immense wealth generated from Burkina Faso's gold mines and other mineral deposits directly benefits the Burkinabe people. This involves a root and branch review and renegotiation of existing mining contracts, many of which were signed under previous regimes and were deeply unfavorable to the nation. The aim is to secure fairer terms, increase the state's share of ownership and revenue, and ensure that mining operations adhere to stricter environmental and labor standards. It's about ending the era of plunder and ushering in an era of partnership where Burkina Faso is the principal beneficiary of its own endowment. Implementing these policies requires courage and strategic acumen. New mining codes are being enacted, designed to prioritize national interests and foster local participation in the sector. State entities are being strengthened or established to oversee the management of these resources, ensuring transparency and accountability in how revenues are collected and utilized. There's a growing emphasis on local processing and value addition, moving beyond simply exporting raw materials to creating more jobs and capturing a larger share of the value chain within Burkina Faso. Furthermore, stringent measures are being put in place to combat the illicit smuggling of gold, which has historically siphoned off vast sums from the national treasury. The significance of these resource control policies cannot be overstated. The increased revenue flowing into state coffers is being channeled into critical national development projects, funding schools, hospitals, infrastructure, and the very agricultural and military modernization efforts we've discussed. This reduces the reliance on foreign aid, which often comes with conditionalities that compromise sovereignty. It's a powerful assertion of economic self-determination, sending an unequivocal message to the world that Burkina Faso is taking charge of its economic destiny. The gold beneath Burkinabe soil is finally beginning to shine for the Burkinabe people, a testament to their resolve to reclaim what is rightfully theirs. Chapter 4: Powering Progress. Lighting up Burkina Faso's ambition. Energy is the lifeblood of modern development, the invisible current that powers industry, illuminates homes, and fuels progress. For too long, Burkina Faso, like many nations in our continent, has grappled with insufficient and unreliable electricity access, a major impediment to economic growth, educational advancement, and overall quality of life. This energy deficit has historically kept the nation dependent on expensive, imported fossil fuels or limited, often erratic, power supplies, hindering its potential. Captain Traoré's administration has recognized that to build a truly independent and prosperous nation, Burkina Faso must first achieve energy security and ultimately energy sovereignty. This is about more than just flicking a switch. It's about igniting national potential. The commitment to transforming the energy sector is unwavering. A core strategy involves the ambitious expansion of the national electricity grid, aiming to connect towns and villages that have languished in darkness for generations. This is a monumental undertaking, requiring significant investment in infrastructure, but it's seen as essential for unlocking the productive capacity of the entire nation. By extending the reach of reliable electricity, the government aims to stimulate local economies, improve access to education and healthcare, and enhance the daily lives of millions of Burkinabés. This drive is coupled with efforts to reduce reliance on costly and environmentally damaging imported energy sources, seeking more sustainable and nationally controlled alternatives. A key component of this energy revolution is the strategic and enthusiastic embrace of solar power. Burkina Faso is blessed with abundant sunshine, a vast, untapped resource that offers a clean, sustainable, and decentralized path to energy independence. The government is spearheading the development of large-scale solar farms, transforming sun-drenched plains into powerhouses of renewable energy. Alongside these major projects, there are initiatives to promote smaller, decentralized solar solutions for rural communities, schools, and health clinics, ensuring that the benefits of solar power reach even the most remote areas. This isn't just about generating electricity, it's about harnessing a natural advantage in a way that empowers the nation and protects the environment. The impact of these concerted efforts to expand the national grid and scale up solar power generation is transformative. Reliable electricity is beginning to power homes, allowing children to study in the evenings and families to enjoy modern conveniences. It's enabling schools and hospitals to function more effectively. Crucially, it's providing the energy needed for businesses to thrive and for new industries to emerge, creating jobs and driving economic diversification. By championing renewable energy, Burkina Faso is also positioning itself as a leader in sustainable development, demonstrating that progress and environmental stewardship can go hand in hand. This is how a nation powers its ambition and lights up its future. Chapter 5: Ubuntu in Action. Forging African Unity. The dream of Pan-African unity, a continent united in purpose and strength, has been a guiding star for generations of African leaders and visionaries. In a world where global powers often seek to divide and conquer, the imperative for African nations to stand together, to speak with one voice, and to collaborate for mutual advancement has never been more urgent. Captain Ibrahim Traoré has emerged as a fervent champion of this renewed Pan-African spirit, recognizing that Burkina Faso's destiny is inextricably linked with that of its sister nations. He understands that true sovereignty is magnified and fortified when pursued collectively, embodying the principle of Ubuntu. I am because we are. Traoré's leadership has been instrumental in initiating and actively participating in a series of vital diplomatic summits and engagements focused on strengthening intra-African ties. These aren't just ceremonial gatherings, they are substantive platforms for forging concrete alliances and developing common strategies to address shared challenges. Particular emphasis has been placed on reinforcing cooperation within the Sahel region and across West Africa, areas that have faced immense security, economic and political pressures. By bringing leaders together, Burkina Faso is helping to foster a new era of solidarity, moving beyond the artificial borders imposed by colonialism and building bridges of genuine fraternity and mutual support. The agenda at these Pan-African summits is ambitious and far-reaching. Key discussions revolve around enhanced security cooperation to collectively combat terrorism and instability, recognizing that the security of one nation is linked to the security of all. There's a strong push for deeper economic integration, including the promotion of intra-African trade, joint infrastructure projects, and coordinated industrial policies to build resilient regional economies. Crucially, these forums are also about developing a unified African stance against external interference, neo-colonial exploitation, and unfair global economic practices. It's about Africa defining its own path and engaging with the world on its own terms, with dignity and strength. The impact of these diplomatic efforts is already visible in the strengthening of regional blocs and the emergence of new alliances, such as the Alliance of Sahel States, formed by Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. This alliance represents a concrete step towards collective self-defense and mutual development, a clear signal that these nations are determined to take their security and destiny into their own hands. These initiatives are fostering a collective spirit of self-determination across the continent, challenging old narratives of African division and weakness. It's a powerful demonstration of Africa for Africans, a movement towards a future where the continent's vast potential is realized through unity and shared purpose. Chapter 6: New Horizons. Diversifying alliances for mutual respect. In the complex and ever-shifting landscape of global geopolitics, the ability of a nation to choose its partners freely, based on its own sovereign interests and the principle of mutual respect, is a hallmark of true independence. For too long, African nations have found their foreign policy choices constrained, often pressured into aligning with traditional Western powers whose interests did not always coincide with those of the African people. Captain Traoré's Burkina Faso is boldly charting a new course, diversifying its international partnerships and seeking alliances that offer tangible benefits and recognize the nation's sovereignty, rather than imposing conditional aid or unwelcome interference. This is about pragmatism, not ideology, driven by a clear-eyed assessment of what best serves Burkina Faso. This pragmatic approach has led Burkina Faso to explore and strengthen strategic partnerships with nations like Russia and China, countries that are increasingly seen by many in Africa as offering alternative models of cooperation. These are not decisions taken lightly, nor are they about blindly swapping one set of external influences for another. Instead, they represent a conscious strategy to broaden Burkina Faso's diplomatic and economic options, creating a more balanced and multipolar engagement with the world. The emphasis is on partnerships built on non-interference in internal affairs, respect for national choices, and a focus on shared development goals, a stark contrast to the often patronizing and prescriptive relationships of the past. The nature of these partnerships with countries like Russia and China is multifaceted. In the realm of security, cooperation may involve the acquisition of military equipment, training, and intelligence sharing, particularly in the fight against terrorism, but on terms defined by Burkina Faso and aligned with its national security strategy. Economically, these partnerships can unlock significant investments in critical infrastructure, roads, railways, energy projects, and facilitate trade and technology transfer. The key principle guiding these engagements is the pursuit of tangible outcomes that contribute directly to Burkina Faso's development agenda and enhance its capacity for self-reliance, ensuring that any collaboration serves the Burkinabe people first and foremost. The broader implications of this diversification of alliances are profound. It signals a decisive break from the unipolar or Western-dominated spheres of influence that have long characterized international relations for many African countries. By forging new ties and strengthening existing ones with a wider range of global actors, Burkina Faso is asserting its agency on the world stage, demonstrating that it will not be confined by outdated geopolitical alignments. This strategic recalibration is fundamentally about enhancing national sovereignty, providing Burkina Faso with greater leverage and flexibility in its international dealings, and ensuring that its foreign policy serves its domestic priorities of peace, development, and self-determination. One of the most insidious forms of neo-colonial control has been financial. For decades, many African nations have found their economic policies and development priorities heavily influenced, if not dictated, by external financial institutions like the IMF and World Bank, as well as by the banking systems of former colonial powers. This financial dependency has often come with stringent conditionalities, austerity measures that harm the most vulnerable, and a draining of resources away from national priorities. Captain Traoré's government understands that to achieve genuine independence, Burkina Faso must also secure its financial and monetary sovereignty, ensuring that the nation's wealth is mobilized and deployed to finance its own destiny. In a bold move towards this financial autonomy, Burkina Faso is focusing on the establishment or significant strengthening of national banking institutions. These are not just ordinary commercial banks. They are envisioned as strategic tools for national development, designed to serve the specific needs of the Burkinabe economy and its people. The goal is to create a robust domestic financial sector that can mobilize internal savings, channel investments into productive sectors, and reduce the nation's reliance on foreign loans and the often crippling debt that accompanies them. This is about building a financial architecture that is accountable to the Burkinabe people, not to distant creditors with their own agendas. The functions of these national banks are critical to fostering economic self-reliance. They are tasked with providing accessible and affordable credit to local entrepreneurs, small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, and agricultural cooperatives, the engines of job creation and grassroots economic growth. By prioritizing lending to domestic businesses, these banks can help stimulate local production, reduce import dependency, and create a more vibrant internal market. Furthermore, they play a crucial role in financing large-scale national development projects, from infrastructure to social programs, ensuring that these initiatives are funded through national resources wherever possible, thereby retaining wealth within the country. The long-term significance of creating and empowering national banks is immense. It's a fundamental step towards breaking the shackles of neo-colonial financial control and building a truly independent economic base. By fostering local capital formation and ensuring that financial resources generated within Burkina Faso are reinvested in Burkina Faso, the nation can chart a more sustainable and equitable development path. This monetary sovereignty allows for greater control over national economic policy, enabling the government to respond more effectively to the needs of its citizens and to pursue a development agenda that is truly its own. It's about ensuring that the nation's financial heartbeat is strong, steady, and African. Chapter 8. Investing in Tomorrow. Empowering the next generation. Africa is the world's youngest continent, a vibrant tapestry of youthful energy, talent, and aspiration. The future of Burkina Faso, and indeed all of Africa, rests squarely on the shoulders of its young people. Recognizing this profound truth, Captain Ibrahim Traoré's government has placed a significant emphasis on investing in the youth, not just as beneficiaries of development, but as active agents in shaping the nation's destiny. Past educational systems, often relics of the colonial era, have not always equipped young Africans with the skills and knowledge needed to thrive in the 21st century, or to contribute meaningfully to national development. A new vision is required, one that empowers and inspires. At the heart of this new vision are comprehensive youth training programs and deep-seated education reforms. The government is launching and expanding vocational training initiatives that are meticulously tailored to the evolving needs of the Burkinabe economy. This means providing practical skills in crucial sectors such as modern agriculture, information technology, renewable energy, construction, and various trades. The aim is to move beyond rote learning and equip young men and women with tangible competencies that lead to employment, entrepreneurship, and self-reliance, ensuring they can build prosperous lives for themselves and contribute to the nation's growth. Parallel to vocational training, the formal education system is undergoing a critical process of reform. The objective is to make education more relevant, accessible, and, importantly, imbued with a strong sense of national pride and Pan-African consciousness. Curricula are being revised to include more local history, culture, and languages, fostering a deeper understanding of Burkinabe identity and the broader African heritage. There's a renewed focus on critical thinking, problem-solving, innovation, and civic education, cultivating a generation that is not only skilled, but also patriotic, socially responsible, and committed to the ideals of sovereignty and self-determination. The long-term vision underpinning these investments in youth and education is clear: to cultivate a generation of Burkinabés who are skilled, knowledgeable, confident, and deeply committed to their country. These young people are seen as the spearhead of the revolution, the architects and builders of the new Burkina Faso. By empowering them with the right education, skills, and values, the nation is not just investing in individuals, It is investing in its own future resilience, its capacity for innovation, and its ability to defend its hard-won sovereignty for generations to come. This is how a nation truly secures its tomorrow, by nurturing the bright minds of today. Chapter 9. Connecting the Nation. Paving the way for progress. A nation's arteries are its roads and railways, the vital networks that carry people, goods and ideas, connecting communities and fueling economic activity. Robust infrastructure is the foundational platform upon which sustainable development is built. For too long, Burkina Faso, like many African countries, has contended with underdeveloped and often dilapidated transport networks, a legacy that has hindered internal trade, isolated rural communities, and inflated the cost of doing business. Captain Traoré's administration has recognized that to unlock Burkina Faso's full economic potential and foster national cohesion, a massive investment in road and rail development is not just desirable, but absolutely essential. The government has made the expansion and modernization of the country's transport infrastructure a national priority. This isn't just about patching up old roads. It's about a strategic vision to create an integrated and efficient network that serves the needs of a developing nation. Ambitious projects are underway to construct new highways and rehabilitate existing trunk roads, connecting major cities, agricultural production zones, and mining areas. Special attention is also being given to improving rural feeder roads, ensuring that farmers can get their produce to market more easily and that remote communities are better integrated into the national economy and have access to essential services. Beyond roads, there is a renewed focus on developing Burkina Faso's rail capacity. While the country has some existing railway lines, there are significant plans to modernize and expand the network, potentially linking Burkina Faso more effectively with neighboring countries and providing better access to regional ports. Such rail development is crucial for transporting bulk goods, reducing reliance on more expensive road freight, and fostering greater regional economic integration on terms favorable to African nations. These infrastructure projects are also designed to create significant employment opportunities for Burkinabés, both during the construction phase and in the long-term maintenance and operation of these vital assets. The impact of this concerted push for improved road and rail networks is manifold and transformative. Better roads reduce travel times and transportation costs, making goods more affordable and businesses more competitive. They facilitate the movement of people, enhancing access to education, healthcare, and employment opportunities across different regions. For farmers, improved connectivity means better access to markets, reducing post-harvest losses and increasing their incomes. Ultimately, a well-developed transport infrastructure strengthens national unity by bringing different parts of the country closer together, laying solid groundwork for industrialization and visibly demonstrating the government's commitment to tangible progress for all citizens. Chapter 10. Awakening the Spirit. The Power of Truth and Identity. The struggle for true liberation is not only fought on the economic, political, and military fronts, it is also, perhaps most fundamentally, a battle for hearts and minds. Decades, even centuries, of colonial domination and neo-colonial influence have left deep imprints on the collective consciousness, sometimes eroding self-belief and distorting national identity. Captain Ibrahim Traoré's government understands that to build a truly sovereign and self-reliant Burkina Faso, it is essential to undertake a profound ideological and mental decolonization. This involves awakening the national spirit, reclaiming authentic narratives, and fostering an unshakable pride in Burkinabe and African heritage. To this end, the government has launched comprehensive national media campaigns aimed at raising anti-colonial awareness and promoting a new consciousness. These campaigns utilize all available channels: state radio and television, social media platforms, community newspapers, and public forums to reach every corner of the nation. The objective is to educate the populace about their true history, including the heroic resistance against colonialism, the achievements of pre-colonial African civilizations, and the insidious ways in which neo-colonialism continues to operate and undermine African progress. It's about arming the people with knowledge, the most potent weapon against manipulation and mental enslavement. The content of these media campaigns is carefully curated to inspire, educate, and mobilize. There is a strong emphasis on celebrating national heroes, particularly figures like Thomas Sankara, whose revolutionary ideals and unwavering commitment to Burkinabe dignity continue to resonate deeply. African culture, languages, and traditions are promoted and uplifted, countering the cultural imperialism that often devalues indigenous heritage. These campaigns also work to expose exploitative foreign influences, unmasking the mechanisms of unequal trade, resource plunder, and political interference, while simultaneously highlighting the path towards genuine self-determination and the vision for a prosperous, independent Burkina Faso. The ultimate goal of these national media campaigns is to forge a conscious, critical, and united citizenry. A people who are deeply rooted in their identity, proud of their heritage, acutely aware of the historical and contemporary challenges they face, and resolutely committed to the path of sovereignty and progress charted by their leadership. It's about cultivating a spirit of resistance against all forms of domination, fostering self-belief, and nurturing the collective will to build a better future. As the great Amilcar Cabral said, "Hide nothing from the masses of our people. Tell no lies. Expose lies whenever they are told. Mask no difficulties, mistakes, failures. Claim no easy victories." This is the spirit guiding Burkina Faso's awakening. The unbreakable spirit, a future forged by us. So, there you have it, family. 10 bold moves, 10 pillars of a revolution that is quietly but steadfastly transforming Burkina Faso from the ground up. From strengthening its shield to feed its people, from reclaiming its wealth to powering its ambitions, from uniting with its brothers and sisters across Africa to educating its youth for a sovereign future. Each project is a testament to a nation's will to define its own destiny. This isn't just about infrastructure or policy. It's about a fundamental shift in mindset, a reclaiming of dignity, and an unwavering belief in the capacity of African people to build their own prosperity. What we are witnessing in Burkina Faso under Captain Ibrahim Traoré is a courageous assertion of self-determination, a direct challenge to the old exploitative order that has sought to keep Africa in a state of perpetual dependency. It's a journey fraught with challenges, no doubt, and the forces that benefit from the status quo will not stand idly by. But the spirit of a people awakened, a people united in purpose, is a powerful force, one that history has shown can overcome even the most formidable obstacles. The path ahead requires resilience, vigilance, and an unshakable commitment to the vision of a truly free and prosperous Burkina Faso. This journey is a beacon of hope, not just for Burkina Faso, but for all of Africa and the diaspora. It reminds us of our inherent strength, our rich heritage, and our collective potential when we dare to dream and dare to build. The road is long, but the destination, a future forged by our own hands for our own benefit, is worth every sacrifice. As the African diaspora saying goes, I am because we are, and we are because I am. Let us continue to watch, support, and learn from the brave path being blazed by our brothers and sisters in Burkina Faso. Until next time, stay strong, stay conscious. Peace.